the balance and the dance between feminine energy and masculine energy. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Kristi Tompkins. I am a naturopathic and functional medicine doctor, focused mainly on women's health. I am also a professional life and business coach where I work with both women and with men. And I love this topic today because it is all about the balance between masculine and feminine energies. So the roots of this theory or this philosophy goes back a long time from many different cultures, many different traditions. And essentially, it is about the dualistic or opposing forces or energies of masculine energy and feminine energy. And they're actually not opposing. I mean, they technically are opposite in the energy and how they play out. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But they are also meant to be harmonizing and collaborative, in that sometimes we humans need to show more emotional energy, or sorry, more feminine energy, or more masculine energy. And it's really, one is not better than the other, and one is not stronger than the other, or there's no hierarchy here. It's really about the balance between the two. So let's talk about masculine energy first. So, and as I record this, today is Women's International Day, which I think is perfect. It's appropriate. So whenever you're watching this, this is going to apply any day of the year and any time in your life. So when it comes to masculine versus feminine energy, this is not gender specific. This is not based on sexual orientation or preference. This is for every human. Again, this is describing the energy or how this is embodied, but also how it's demonstrated in your life, in every area of your life. So with regard to masculine, think of this as more yang or yang, however you pronounce that word. So masculine energy tends to be a bit more logical. It is more driving. It is more production or productivity focused. It is centered around making a decision and providing and structure and ambition. There's a lot of different words. And that's, again, this is not to say that the feminine energy does not embody that, or women, as we know, gender specific women, it is not about that. So these qualities are essential at some point in our life, or at certain variations in our life, in our personal life, our professional life. And we need those qualities in some cases. As it pertains to health, it can be very structured with your exercise, structured or regimented with your eating plan, with your maybe meal prepping, and maybe putting supplements together. It's very organized and very structured. Very disciplined when it comes to the consistency or the frequency of exercise, the intensity, whether it's cardiovascular, aerobic conditioning, muscle strengthening. It is very focused on achieving a goal like muscle strength, body mass index, weight loss, fat loss, and so forth. So it's very, again, it's very focused on goal setting and accomplishing and reaching those goals. As it pertains to business, again, some of these other words that I just mentioned in the beginning would be focused on achievement and driving and competition, or making sure that you are the best. Financial drive, financial success, financial abundance, being the best, persevering, disciplined, determined, again, very structured when it comes to work, schedule, and making sure that everything gets completed. So it's all about completion, setting the intention, setting the goals, but also achieving and completing those goals. Um, as it pertains to and those are the favorable energies, looking at the potential pitfalls or the setbacks or the disadvantages would be overdoing it, workaholism, over exercising, being too structured, being too regimented, being too rigid, over competition to the point where um, it's potentially harming, either literally or like psychologically harming the competition. It is selfish. It is self-focused. It is hoarding. Maybe to some degree, maybe lacking integrity. With regard to your health, if it's workaholism or overdoing it or overachieving or just over trying to accomplish too much, that can lead to stress induced illnesses and potentially problems with the cardiovascular system, problems with the gastrointestinal system, problems with your immune system, to the point where there's illness, disease, diagnosis, having to slow down because your body is now weakened because you're overdoing it. And in some cases, neglectful of relationships, neglectful of partnerships with colleagues, with clients, all relationships. So it's basically all about yourself, and that could be to the detriment of this masculine energy. Now and again, there's a balance here, and women certainly can be all of those things. Or a woman who identifies as a woman, a she, a her, she can also identify with those as well. And I certainly can in many cases of my life where I've overdone it, overstriving, overworking. I get stressed, I get stomach pain, I don't sleep well, binge on chocolate, whatever, chips. As it pertains to feminine energy, which is more yin, so that tends to be more flowing, more creativity, more receptivity, receiving, kind of going with the current, going with the flow, connection, things like that, listening to what your body needs, kind of that inherent inner voice. As it pertains to health, it can be in the favorable, it can be more, again, listening to what your body needs, conscious eating, intuitive eating, giving your body kind of listening into kind of the body's cues and the body's communication, craving in a good way. So if your body is craving more protein, more iron, more vegetables, more citrus. I remember when I first moved here to Colorado from California several years ago. It's very dry here. It's the desert. It's a drier climate. And it happened to be just before summer. And I'm from the West Coast. And I was craving California oranges. I was craving citrus, grapefruit, um, things like that. I don't know why. I mean, just my body was like just craving the moisture. I drink plenty of water. I'm always hydrated. And so listening to your body when it needs certain foods. For some people, it might be more fat. It might be more greens, dark leafy greens, and so forth. Um, Also, with regard to exercise, maybe it's, again, this could be listening to your body. So it could be more muscle strengthening. It could be going for a walk. It could be yoga. It could be Pilates. It could be being in nature. It could be something that just intuitively feels right. So you're really kind of tuning into that voice of saying, slow down, or maybe you need to step it up. Maybe get off the couch and maybe get out of bed a little bit earlier in the morning and go do your workout, or go to the gym after you've been working all day. And so It could also be, again, focused on nourishment, eating the right foods, water intake. It could be making sure that you're sleeping, going to bed on time, making sure that you are getting the quality and the quantity of hours of sleep. It could be maybe walking with a friend. It could be going to the gym with your best friend or a neighbor or a colleague or whatever. So it's that collaboration as it pertains to health. Breath work, doing some kind of breath work with meditation, or just doing breath work by itself, focusing on your breathing while you're doing yoga or any other type of workout. Um, and maybe I think that was probably it. As it pertains feminine energy, as it pertains to business, it's also creativity and tuning into what are the things that I need to do to not only get my work done, but also how can I be more creative with regard to my work. Am I doing creative work? Am I doing something that I hate, that is just arduous and boring and difficult and very, very, it just feels more like an uphill battle. And it's just tuning into, and sometimes, we all have to do these jobs in every area of our life, even if we don't want to. But sometimes tuning into something that is more creative, that allows you to then refocus and get back to your work. Artwork, singing, doing a meditation, something like that, playing a musical instrument, things like that, that can help you become more creative in your work. I know for me, I listen to my Bose headphones. I like to listen to very calming, grounding music that allows me to be more creative. It allows me to write. It allows me to be more productive. So it's slowing everything down from the high beta brainwaves to the slower alpha brainwaves. And that allows me to be more creative. Maybe it's feminine energy as it relates to work. It's collaboration, it's connection, it's community, it's networking, it's reaching out to everybody, not just to women. um, so it could be some sort of networking, a global networking group that you belong to, or locally. It's knowing that there's always abundance, there's always more, and competition isn't so much a word, it's more collaboration. It's knowing that if I support you, it's going to help me. And if you support me, it's going to help yourself. And the term "a rising tide lifts all ships," and it really is about your win is my win, your success is my success, because we're all different. We might be doing the same line of work, or we might be in the same industry, but we all have our own unique special flavor, so to speak. And so we're all offering something very, very unique to the world, whether it's a product or service or both, or maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's volunteer work. And so, but it's also about knowing that in working together and in listening to my intuition, my inner voice, that it's serving a higher purpose. It's helping me, but it's more meaningful work. It's more purpose-driven work. It's helping myself, but it's also helping so many other people across the world. I mean, it really has that, whether it's a local ripple effect or a global ripple effect, it is helping all. In the disadvantage, or the pitfalls, or the not so great uplifting effect of feminine energy as it pertains to work, it could be not following through, not being disciplined, not being structured, not completing tasks on time, not completing them at all, like letting them go, stopping, maybe starting again, maybe stopping, maybe getting into something else, shiny object syndrome, and going on to all these different tasks and all these different things that you want to do. And maybe being overly emotional, maybe taking things a little bit too personally, and having that maybe imbalanced emotional effect that is harming your business sense and your work ethic, and being able to start things, important tasks that you want to accomplish, but also being able to follow through and complete them as well. The feminine energy and the masculine energy, it pertains, or it permeates through all areas of our life: relationships, intimate partnerships, of course, as we know, romantic partnerships, with your family members, with your colleagues, with your clients. So that there is, again, there's not one that's better or worse or higher or lower. It is all about really coming back to the word intuition and really tuning into what is it your body needs, because there are days where we need to be a lot more structured and a lot more focused on productivity and putting pen to paper, so to speak, and really completing things. But you can also weave in the balance of receiving when it comes to business, especially for men and for women, being able to receive compensation, being able to receive praise and positive testimonials, and being able to advance further ahead. So there is that interconnection and that dance between the masculine and the feminine, sometimes in the same circumstance or the same activity. So it's about the balance, because I know for myself, if I go too far on the masculine energy, I get sick. I get frustrated. I get resentful. I get tired. I get annoyed, bitter, angry, emotional eventually. And then if I go too far in the feminine, things don't get done. They're left incomplete, or I start and I stop, or I get too emotional, and I tend to take things too personally when maybe it's not even about me. So just keep all of this in mind. It really is coming back to the dance, and partnership. There's a leader and a follower, and it's really tuning into what your body needs at that particular time. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and we'll see you next time.